Well, now that Trudeau's time has expired, perhaps we should go over a list of all of his greatest accomplishments. Remember when you and your buddies got caught with the $60 million Arrive scam app? How about the $258 million in projects to GC Strategies? What about the SNC Laval scandal? How about the Winnipeg Lab? Remember that nice $84,000 Jamaican vacation you had? The Queen's funeral, that was a real tragedy, eh? $6,000 a night and you were drunk as a skunk embarrassing us. Chinese election interference? Shh. We want to keep that one quiet, don't we? How about the Chinese police stations that popped up all over our country? The Green Slush Fund scandal? We don't gotta talk about that. Funding these Islamic groups that are protesting here on our soil? Maybe we should talk about the $1 billion you spent on immigrants for hotels. It's cost you $40 million to fire your staff. Remember when you paid $1 billion to our state broadcaster to lose all of their credibility and stand up for you and your tyranny against Canadians? Remember when there was a committee investigation on veteran affairs and you blocked it? $29 billion in costs on TMX. It was so considerate of you to expand MAID to include people who are struggling and not in control of themselves with their mental health. Can't forget about that $2 billion that you spent in companies that we found out don't even exist. You left us with a nice gift though. We've got our highest inflation in 30 years. Immigration's out of control and unsustainable. You forced untested vaccinations that we now know caused a lot of harm, damage, and division. You've ignored Canadians who have lost their children. Currently, there's 11 million Canadians that require help from a food bank so they can feed themselves and their families. Our healthcare system has completely collapsed. Good thing you put in a mandate and fired all the nurses. $300 million you spent on mobile storage for hospitals that were going to be set up that we didn't even need or ever use. $400 million spent on quarantine hospitals. $30 billion in making batteries for cars while EV manufacturers are divesting. How about that $9 million that you spent on the Cricket factory so humans can have that instead of good protein? Can't forget about the elbow gate in the House of Commons. You've completely crippled the Canadian Forces and they have tampons in their men's bathroom. There's an opioid pandemic and your solution is more drugs and more ways to use drugs in safe supply centers. $6 billion to the Philippines for gender equality. How about Mr. Guilbeault's $30 billion cover-up?